All right, welcome. Today we're diving into something huge. We're talking about how the incredible evolution of artificial intelligence is set to completely rewrite the rules for the cars we drive and, just as importantly, the companies that build them. So let's start with the big question. What does an AI-driven future for the auto industry actually look like? We hear a ton about self-driving cars, but that's really just scratching the surface. The reality is so much bigger. We're talking about a complete reinvention of how cars are even imagined, designed, and built. And to really get our heads around that, we're going to break this down into 5 parts. Think of it as a journey. We're going to map out the entire evolution, from the kind of AI we have today, all the way to a future that, honestly, sounds like pure science fiction.
You can really think of this whole evolution in 3 distinct eras, which you can see right here on this timeline. Each one of these phases represents a massive leap forward in AI's capabilities, and trust me, each one completely changes the game. So let's start with the era we're living in right now.
First up is the here and now, which experts are saying will probably last until about 2030. We are deep in the era of ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. The best way to think about this is as a specialist AI. It is incredibly powerful, but only at very specific, very narrow tasks. Now, think about it this way. ANI is way more than just another tool in the toolbox. It's being woven right into the core operations of a car company. It's becoming its new muscles and nervous system, basically transforming manufacturing from a physical process into a completely data-driven one. And the competition in this era, it is absolutely fierce. It's a flat-out battle for optimization across every single part of the business. We're talking about everything from creating smart factories that can literally predict their own maintenance needs, to fine-tuning global supply chains, and, of course, perfecting the insanely complex software required for autonomous driving. Let's just take smart factories for a second. The holy grail here is what they call the factory that never stops, and ANI is what makes this possible. It's analyzing thousands of data points from all the equipment, every vibration, every temperature change, to predict failures before they can happen. It's all about pushing for absolute maximum efficiency. And this chart, wow, this just crystallizes that shift perfectly. Just look at the before column versus the with AI/NI column. It doesn't matter if you're talking about the factory floor, design, or logistics. We're moving away from a reactive model that's based on past experience to a proactive, data-driven model that can actually anticipate the future. It's a complete operational overhaul. Okay, so let's jump ahead to the next phase, which could start around 2030. This is where we see the arrival of AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. And this, my friends, is where things get truly transformative.
I mean, just let that sink in. The entire game changes. AGI isn't just making existing processes better. It's a digital brain capable of autonomous thought and creation. Imagine an AGI seeing a shift in global demographics, designing the perfect urban vehicle for it, prototyping it, and reconfiguring the factory to build it, all in a matter of weeks. That's a process that takes humans years.
And this really illustrates that fundamental leap, doesn't it? The competition stops being just about speed and efficiency. It becomes about creativity and strategic problem solving. AGI is no longer just a better tool. It's a creative partner that can actually reason and create right alongside us. So what this really means is that a company's entire identity is going to transform. The winners in the AGI era won't be the ones who can build the best physical cars. They'll be the ones who develop the most intelligent and reliable AGI, the ones who can best command and organize the physical world. All right, buckle up, because now we're jumping into a future that redefines, well, everything. Around the year 2040, we could see the emergence of ASI, or artificial superintelligence. This is an intelligence so far beyond human comprehension, it's hard to even imagine. So, in the era of ASI, traditional factories become obsolete. The whole concept of a production line just disappears. Why? Because an ASI wouldn't just manage the physical world, it could, in theory, reconfigure it at a molecular level. At this point, the competition isn't between companies anymore, it's about mastering the very laws of physics. So you're probably asking, how on earth would that even work? Well, instead of building a car piece by piece on an assembly line, the ASI would direct swarms of tiny nanomachines to essentially grow it, molecule by molecule, into its perfect final form in just a few seconds.
This mind-bending new paradigm leads to the ultimate form of efficiency, and it's represented by this single number, 0. We're talking zero energy loss, zero waste, and zero logistics costs, because products are simply created on demand anywhere they're needed. Okay, we have just taken a massive leap into a pretty wild future. So let's pull back for a second and bring it all together. This final chart really summarizes the entire evolutionary path we've just explored.
This table just lays out the entire transformation so clearly. With ANI, the main role is productivity. With AGI, that evolves into invention. And finally, with ASI, it becomes the reconfiguration of the physical world itself. And look at how the car itself changes. It goes from an intelligent vehicle to a kind of life partner, and eventually to something that's more like an integrated part of our environment, an environmental OS.
And this incredible journey we've been on leaves us with one last profound question to think about. In a world where your main competitor is the laws of physics itself, what is the purpose of a company anymore? What does that mean for the future of industry, innovation, and maybe even humanity itself?